Hey y'all, the next topic that I want to talk about, and this is a very sensitive issue, is suicide. This is a major issue in our society. I wrote a book 2 years ago. It's called Suicide is Irreversible by Davis-Bedrick. Look it up on Amazon. Why are people suicidal? I looked it up one time when I was writing the book. I was doing research. And the main age for suicide for people is, ironically, 25 to 35. And I was thinking, of course, because that's when everybody has breakups. I think that is probably the main cause, is heartbreak. Someone breaks your heart, they reject you, they pick someone else over you, and then maybe you start to feel kind of suicidal. Or you have a friend die, which, yeah, I will say there's definitely a lot more risk-taking behaviors in people aged 25 to 35. For example, I had an ex. He was an alcoholic, and he also was on prescriptions. He was on like 5 different prescriptions. And if you're on an antidepressant, you really shouldn't be drinking, but he didn't care. He drank anyways. This happened like 12 years ago. But anyways, we got in a fight one night, and it was over, like, he wanted to have lunch with an ex-coworker, and I was like, no, you can't have lunch with her. But she talked to him on Facebook, and she wanted to go out with him. And I was like, no, that's ridiculous. So we had a fight over it. Anyways, then that night he went to a bar with his coworker and basically drank himself to death. I don't know if it was intentional. The police officer afterwards came to my apartment and told me, and obviously I was bawling. And the officer said, do you think it was suicide? And I was like, no. I was like, he has kids. I don't think he would do that. But I really don't know. And then we went to the bar to get his car, and the officer said that the bartender said something about tequila. Anyways, be careful about strong alcohol. Like, if you drink vodka, tequila, even wine, if you drink too much, you can drink yourself to death. There's a great song about that by Brad Paisley. I forget the title of the song, but it's all about this girl broke his heart, and then he drank himself to death. It's like the saddest song that you'll ever hear. But watch out for getting like that. Like, there's plenty of fish in the sea. If you're going through a breakup, just know you can replace that person. You can find somebody else. You can, and just keep your hope alive. Like, I think that's what causes suicide, is people just get hopeless, and they think they'll never have that life again. They'll never have somebody like that again. But yes, you will. I've gone through, and this is kind of sad, but I've gone through like 7 breakups, and but I can always replace them, so I don't wallow in grief when somebody dumps me or they walk away. I'm just like, I believe that God's going to bring somebody else, When God closes one door, he opens another door. So, and I'm believing God for that right now, because I guess you could say my baby daddy abandoned a little bit me and our son. So, but I'm believing that God will bring somebody else, and like, you have to hang on to that hope. You can't let yourself get hopeless and get filled with grief and wallow in a pit. There's a good book by Beth Moore. It says, Get Out of That Pit, which I always thought that title was just genius. I should have read it. I haven't read it yet, but get out of that pit. Don't stay in your pit. Maybe you have things to be depressed about and sad about, and you're feeling hopeless, but don't. Have some faith, If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, be thou removed into the sea, and nothing will be impossible for you. My ultimate hope right now is that the father of my child will become 100% Christian, and we can be a family again. And obviously I don't know for sure. Nobody knows. I'll just say nobody knows really about anybody else, if they're 100% Christian or not. But I want him to be, so we can be a family again and be a normal, good Christian family. So that's what I'm hoping for right now. But whatever you're hoping for, don't give up. Don't give up on that hope, and you might be tempted to give up. Yeah, you might think it's taken too long. You might be like, come on, God, like, when are you going to come through for me, God? Like, when are you going to do this? But you just got to wait. Those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will walk and not grow weary. They will run and not faint. They will soar on wings like eagles. So the more that you wait on God, keep your faith alive, keep your hope alive. I wrote another book that says, the title is Faith Can Move Mountains. Check it out, by Davis-Bedrick on Amazon. But that one actually was really hard for me to write. I wrote it 2 years ago, but I had a heck of a time because faith is so hard. It's so easy to just wallow and be depressed and think, oh, my life's always going to suck. Why does God let me go through all this? He let me go through all that. It's probably just going to keep sucking. But no, you gotta change your thoughts, right? You gotta bounce your thoughts. I heard one time, like a basketball. When you start to feel really negative, you gotta be like, no, something good is gonna happen. Joyce Meyer likes to say, something good is gonna happen to me today. Something good is gonna happen in my future. Yeah, maybe like 80% of my past sucked, but I believe that. And you just gotta have faith. I believe that 100% of my future is gonna be wonderful, peaceful, joyful, beautiful, wonderful, full of love, full of life, full of God, full of faith, full of transformed hearts, and you just got to speak that over your life. Speak it in your head, speak it out loud, and just keep your faith alive. Like, without faith, there's no life. Without hope, there's no life. You got to keep your faith and your hope alive. Like, maybe your life sucked before in the past, but that doesn't mean it has to keep sucking. And ultimately, it's up to you. Like, a lot of the times we blame God when our life sucks, but a lot of times we dug our own hole. We messed it up ourselves. We cut our own legs out from underneath us, And I think a lot of us can have anger at God, like, well, why'd you let me go through all that, Why didn't you help me more? Why is this happening to me? Why are you letting me suffer? But it's like, you got to look in the mirror at some point and be like, okay, I probably did that to myself. At least the majority. And sometimes we just got to accept it and learn from our mistakes. A quote that I love is, a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. A smart man learns from his own mistakes, but a fool never learns. Don't be a fool. At least be a smart man and learn from your own mistakes. If you keep messing up one relationship after another, which I will say I have that problem because you could say my expectations are too high. I'm a perfectionist. That's mainly why. But I need to learn from my own mistakes. Nobody's perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Other people aren't going to be perfect. Your kids aren't going to be perfect. Your house won't be perfect. Your car won't be perfect. Like, just accept it, Like, the more mature you are, the more you can accept imperfections, which is a word that God's been telling me lately. Accept imperfections. Nobody's perfect. You're never going to find the perfect looking spouse or mate or whatever. You're never going to have perfect kids. You're never going to have the perfect house. I had a brand new house. I had it for like 4 years. It wasn't perfect. It was big. It was like 1,800 square feet. Like, it was nice. 4 rooms, but it wasn't perfect. We had issues with the electrical outlets. I had to call the maintenance person out like a few times. I smelled like fire burning behind the wall, behind an outlet, because I guess it was like a faulty outlet. And there were like fire ants getting inside the house. Like, I would go pick up my laundry and there'd be fire ants all over it. So there was obviously like cracks and holes in the walls. But the point is, you can buy a brand new house and it's beautiful. And you're like, wow, I've never seen a more beautiful house. And then you get fire ants in your room. There were fire ants getting on my daughter's bed. It was ridiculous. But it's like, you always think the grass is greener on the other side, right? We all have that issue. We're like, man, my life sucks. Like, but if I did this, if I got the new house, if I got the new car, if I got the new boyfriend or girlfriend, my life would be perfect. No, it's never perfect. Never. And why does God let us go through that? I don't know. I think he just wants us to learn the lesson, at some point accept imperfections. You know, nothing's going to be perfect. And you just have to deal with it, you know, and don't let it drive you to suicide. Don't be thinking, well, if I can't have this, and that, if I can't have X, Y, Z, I might as well just die. You know, I might as well just pray for God to kill me. And I'll just say a little confession. Confess your sins to one another and pray for each other that you may be healed. I actually did that. This was like a year and a half ago. I was pregnant and I prayed to die. Why? Because I hated being pregnant. You know, and there's this push now for abortions, blah, blah. But I will say, I understand it. It sucks being pregnant. I was like 7 months pregnant and I prayed to die because I was just tired. I was tired of being pregnant. I didn't want to be pregnant. You know, you got the heartburn. I was trying to write all these books. Go buy my books. But I was trying to write all these books, and it was killing my arms. I was getting like tendonitis or something, so my arms were like, felt like they're on fire. You know. But I was thinking that I was gonna get rich writing books. You know, a lot of people do. Anyway, so my arms were like killing me, so I literally like prayed to die, and then my vision got really blurry. I got half blind. My glasses didn't work anymore. I was like half blind. My vision was really blurry. My eyes were all watery. My blood pressure shot up, and my heartburn was terrible. Anyways, luckily, my ex's grandma took me to the hospital. And we had an early C-section, so my son was a preemie, but it didn't affect him. I felt like God told me this won't affect him at all going forward, that he was a preemie, and I was like, cool, you know. And I asked God at some point, I was like, why'd you let me go through all that? And God was like, because you need to stop praying to die. Like, it's selfish. Suicide is selfish. You know, like, when you get to that point where you're just like, God, kill me, you're thinking that your life won't benefit anybody anymore, but you don't know that. You don't know that. Maybe you can make videos like this. Maybe you can write some poems. Maybe you can write a blog. Maybe you can write a book. You don't know. You don't know what else God has in store for you to do. Like that song by Torrin Wells, God's not done with you, you know. Just because your life sucks, that doesn't mean that you should want to die or kill yourself or pray to die or ask somebody else to kill you or whatever. Maybe things will get better, you know. After every storm, there's a rainbow, you know. Just wait for your rainbow. Wait for your happiness, you know. Wait for the joy. Sorrow may last for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Okay? So just remember that. And if you know anybody who's feeling depressed or maybe suicidal, send them this video. God loves y'all. And check out my book, Suicide is Irreversible, by Davis-Bedrick on Amazon. God bless. Bye.